The video you're watching is about documenting things in history. The most extreme event in recorded history on Earth list. You can look up a bunch of them. I'm going to bring up something that happened in 1908, 1980, and 2013. 1908, a specific time and date stamp for local time only, which would or would not be able to be translated into UTC in Siberia. Early in the morning. Tunguska is the location. A 4.5 mile up, or thereabouts, it's variable, altitude airburst caused 3 deaths out of 30 within a 32 mile across area where trees were laid flat for the most part. This is out of 700 eyewitness accounts and basically victim reports, only found through a 2017 literature study stating this is the largest natural explosion in, quote, recorded history. I want to point out a couple of the ironies about this. Number one, the only place to find this study is on a website that absolutely does everything but show up at your house and drive a spike in your face when you try to read something. Crashed my browser. Then when I came back to it, it said, your browser's out of date. If you are stating recorded history, but you won't let me find out your citations, the locations, etc., I will do exactly what a hacker's supposed to do. Below are a set of archive links to what little I was able to force the website to vomit up for me about the Tunguska Siberia impactor. It detonated miles above the ground, and it flattened an area much bigger than an atom bomb. It really did. And it was a fairly symmetrical flattening, but it happened in an area with tall trees and stuff that over time that we're not allowed to talk about because some of you are going to complain that temperature hasn't changed since then. It's become a massive wetland even more so than it was before. And it's really hard to find any evidence because a wetland, even in cold areas, will have a lot of bacterial activity. And the area has been basically taken over by Mother Nature. And most of the evidence is gone. But there are still photos. How many photos? How many witness writings? Was it the 700 most reliable? Or just the 700 we have record of? Did people give a witness account and then it was thrown out? Was this ever propagandized by people in Imperial Russia? Are there conspiracy theories today about it that take facts, wipe their ass with them, and use it to make a YouTube video you watched before you came here because I mentioned it in the title of the video? How much information has to be destroyed every goddamn time something happens for all of you to realize the following? Time and date stamp will be century, year, month, day, hour, minute, second, and you'll either say local time and where you were and shut up and do it, or UTC if you don't want to indicate where you were for some god-awful reason. Information will be in the form of that rubber stamped into the photo, and it will be PNG, not JPEG. You will not post it in WebP. You will not put it behind a paywall. It will be public domain. You will take credit. Any commercial use you get paid for. Academic use is free. News agency use is commercial. News agencies must pay you, and they have no rights for reproduction for all photos. If it's a video, same thing. Well, that's not how we do things here at News 12. Then you don't get a copy of the video. Bitch out down the street. Cry me a river. Changing your answer? There's a universal publication contract you can force a news agency to sign by saying, you're signing this and obeying my conditions. I am not obeying any conditions your company or corporation has. You own none of this. You get usage of it for one usage. It will be public domain unless it's for commercial usage. All usage by any source that uses commercials, including websites, is commercial usage. You have to get permission. I will give permission at $0 in some cases. My option. And I have the option to tear it down later. Total power over the image. Meanwhile, you've given it away to public domain if someone is not doing in any way, shape, or form commercial usage. That means Science Direct isn't allowed to do it because they charge money ever. Because Science Direct is not a scientific publication site. Because they charge money. I don't give a fuck anymore. See below the links to the images I was able to rip out showing where the witnesses were that they felt were reliable. Why are you angry about it? Was this ever propagandized? Was any of it ever lied about? Was anything ever fluffed up for a news article to sell papers? Do science papers hide the data? Ever? Did this really happen? Yes. Do we have reports in form of people typing up what they say they saw? Yes. Some people even did drawings and pictures of it. How many witnesses, how many witness writings, drawings, pictures, films, and videos for any historical event that's recorded? Recorded history means there has to be a record. If you hide it behind a paywall, it didn't happen. Tangent explosion only exists if you have thousands of people uploading videos and them never ever being able to take them back down. With a time and date stamp, preferably on the screen, like a CCTV recording that picked up some of this. And moving right along. 1980, May 18th, 8:32 a.m. The other one in Tunguska, that was 1908, June 30th, 7:17 a.m. local time. That we're doing 8:32 a.m. Mount St Helens, 1980, May 18th, Washington time. At a specific physical location, which if you look it up in the Wikipedia article, puts the dot in the wrong location for the fucking mountain. It's 46.2 by negative 122.19. That's not used. It uses degrees, minutes, and seconds, which a lot of you don't understand is something I'm militantly angry about. Typing out a sequence of numbers in a non-ambiguous way that you can type on literally anything because the degree symbol isn't readily available. Versus constantly putting it in that format, so I have to run it through a converter, and then when people say, oh, I got it wrong, instead of give me the damn number that was on your GPS right when you looked at it. That's embedded in the picture because pictures don't use the degree symbol unless they have to. And video. Mount St. Helens produced up to 1,000 foot tall, 5.5 mile across blast effect of material flying through during the maximum level eruption, because there were multiple eruptions, that tore out the north side at 155 mile an hour peak speed. This collapse caused 57 deaths approximately. We really don't know how many people were lost. Over $1 billion in damage, and was the largest subaerial landslide in recorded history. Now the rant. How many of you know for a fact that you can find all of those single-shot images taken by a camera loaded with film, taken X number of seconds apart, recording the progression of the explosion? How many of you know that they're still under copyright? How many of you know that in 2017, a newspaper released some of the images from another source because they were hoarding them? How many of you believe that A, the public has an absolute right to rip these from the clutches of every greedy fuck on the planet, or B, you believe the copyrights should be given over using Disney laws? Is it a piece of history or is it a piece of commerce? Give me your answer below in the description. Say what you believe below me. Now, here we go. How many film recordings? When people record, do they record as something happens or after it's already started? Remember, the eyewitness accounts, it's almost exclusively people writing up stuff. Some of it was diary stuff. from the event in 1908. But there were photos, aftermath photos, which are actually probably just as frightening as an image during. The aftermath of Mount St. Helens blowing up shows actual scale if you look at it with reference to a map. Watching a mountain literally explode is so overwhelmingly large that getting a scale of it is almost impossible. If it was converted to a comet impact blast area kind of thing with destruction, 1,000-foot tall wave of shit going in north, and burying it under hundreds of feet of rubble and dirt and soot, 5.5 mile across area. The one in Russia in 1908 was 32 miles across. Both of these are atom bomb level destruction events. One of them had an uptime, or a lead-up time of people having cameras. If you hear of a volcanic eruption pending, load up a camera with film. Get a camera that can hold a lot of it. Make sure it auto shutters at 1 point something seconds and another one at 1.0 seconds so that you get dithering effect. Put them on the same mount, force them to be the same focal length, aim them at the subject, and wait until something starts happening. As soon as you see visually some change in the mountain from your angle, you're not going to move afterwards, hit the record it button and record on a video camera. Put your cell phone that you can't compel yourself to stop doing this with, force it this way, glue it to a fucking tripod, and stop doing shitty videos. Enable time and date stamp marks within the file. Same thing with the JPEGs and PNGs. Oh no JPEGs. It will be PNG. No, I don't care that it's going to take up more space on your thumb drive. PNG, raw mode. Do we have proof that Mount St. Helens happened? Do we have proof that the Tunguska event happened? What about the Chelyabinsk Russian one? A bunch of cameras were already running because they were on dash cams and on closed-circuit TV security cameras. That's why we have any record at all. What did people immediately insist on doing so that we wouldn't have the ability to confirm anything and do any use of it? Not telling us where the camera was that was pointing that direction. Well, I like my privacy. Tough noogies. Show us the angle and the approximate location. We'll eventually figure out which camera it is. What about the dash cam? Just show us the street address. The Tianjin explosion in China. It was a nuclear bomb going off because conspiracy theorists got to put up something that's counter-narrative, not counterintuitive, counterfactual, counter-narrative, so they can get page views. Or someone like me tracking down every single camera view I could with what little data we have because China censors the living shit out of the country. Russia was less censored. But Mount St. Helens recording in good old freedom-based America, Mount St. Helens, Washington, has less documentation because people decided, I'm not going to get any money out of my film, I'll just keep it for myself. Or they gave it away or sold it as a video recording or film recording or photos to a newspaper that then sat on it till 3 years ago. The one in Russia, recent one, 3:22 UTC time or something thereabouts, 2013, February 15th. 20 kilometer per second average normal speed, thousands of miles an hour. 9,000 ton, 18 meter across or 60-foot diameter asteroid, near Earth asteroid. Airburst at 18.5 miles up in the air at an 18-degree angle and caused $33 million in damage to 7,200 buildings and hurt almost 1,500 people. And yet, do we have all the data? Is any of it in any way attempted to be hidden or paywalled? My frustration should be palpable to you. I foam at the mouth every time I see a website say, we have an excuse for not giving you information that should be free. How do we prove Tiananmen Square happened? Because a bunch of people recorded it. How do people try to make it not happen? By censoring said information. Does anybody believe that the thing that happened in 1908 wasn't propagandized? Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.